Hello friends, welcome to the fifth session under the concept of the ownership and the possession in jurisprudence. So friends, in the previous sessions we discussed about the meanings, the concept, the elements, the kinds of the ownership and also of the possession along with certain cases and of course some differences between them both. So I, Forum Patel, would like you to take the next step of the unit, that is the kinds of the property. When we are talking about the ownership and the property, ownership and the possession of the property, it becomes very important for all of us to understand that what do you mean by the property and what are the different kinds of the property, so as to determine that how, what kind of possession or what kind of ownership can one individual have when they are talking about the property. So friends, let's get started with the kinds of the property. So friends, what do you mean by property? Before getting to the kinds, we must understand what do you mean by property. The word property is derived from the Latin term proprietate and the French equivalent proprius, which means the things owned. The concept of the property and the ownership are very closely related to each other. Of course, because if we are talking about owning something, so that thing has to be a property. That is the reason that the relationship is of course very close. There can be no property without ownership and ownership without the property. So based on this, let's move on to understanding of the different kinds of the property. So, property is essentially of two kinds, the corporeal property and the incorporeal property. I hope till now you all have an idea, a slight idea about these words of the corporeal and incorporeal, because we have discussed and utilized this term while we were having a look into the concept of the ownership and also of the possession. So, the corporeal property can be further divided into the movable and immovable property and real and personal property. Incorporeal property is of the two kinds, that is in re propria and rights in re aliena or encumbrances. So friends, let's get started with the understanding of each and every kind of the property in detail. So friends, when we are talking about the corporeal properties, what do you mean by corporeal property? For an example, a house, a land, a car, a bike. So that means that corporeal property does mean that things which are movable also and things which are immovable also. And they may be real also and they have to be personal, of course. So that means that the corporeal property is the right of the ownership in material things. That means material aspects, that is house, land, car, etc., etc. Corporeal property can be perceived by the sense, as in we can see them and we can touch them, we can feel them. So the corporeal property may be divided into two different classes, not kinds but the classes. First, the movable properties and the immovable properties, and the next one is the real and personal property. Now comes the next kind of the property, that is the incorporeal property. So when we discussed that we can feel and we can touch the corporeal property. So when we are talking about the incorporeal property, of course it will be about the intangible property when we are talking. So the things which we cannot perceive by our sense, that means that the patents, the trademarks, the intellectual property basically. So incorporeal property is also called as the intellectual or conventional properties. As I have already given the examples of the same, they can be divided into further two classes. The first is jura in re propria over the material things, for an example patent, copyright, trademark, and jura in aliena encumbrances, whereas over the material or immaterial things, for an example mortgage, lease, etc., etc. Now my friends, all the corporeal property is either movable property or an immovable property. Now in English law, these are termed as chattels and lands respectively. Now what are movable properties? The movable property is the one which can be transferred from one place to another place with the human effort. Rather, when we are talking about the immovable properties, according to the General Clause Act 1897, immovable property includes the land benefits arising out of the land and the things which are attached to the earth or permanently fastened or anything attached to the earth. According to the Indian Regulation Act, my friends, immovable property includes lands, building, Then hereditary allowances, rights of the way, light, ferries, fisheries, or any other benefits that are arising out of the land, and things that are attached to the earth or permanently fastened, or things which are attached to the earth but not standing timber, growing crops or grass, as we all know. Now comes the next kind, which is the public property and the private property. Public property is that which is owned by the public as such in some governmental capacity. Public property is used as a designation of which are public jurists, and therefore they are considered as being owned by the public. That means, my friends, that the roads that we used can be called as the public property, of course. Then what is the private property? The private property is the one which is owned by an individual or some other private persons. That is, if I'm talking about my own house, I shall be talking about my own private property. But if I'm talking about the transportation, or rather the road which I'm using, I shall be talking about the public property. Now comes the real property and the personal property. So what do you mean by real property, my friends? The real property includes all the rights over the land with such additions except in the cases of the law as they deem fit. Whereas the personal property is the law of the personal property includes all the other proprietary rights where they are in rem or in personam also. That means they can use the personal properties rights against the whole world also and against the any individual also, whereas the real property is having the law deemed fitted sequential actual property rights. So friends, this was all about the different kinds of the rights that we discussed, which would determine the concept of the ownership and the properties, the concept of the rights and the duties also with regard to the same thing. So with this, I would like to put an end to this session. In the further slide, I shall be delivering and I shall be revealing the references that I have used while making the whole PPT in the concept of the ownership and possession. You may have a look and you also can read them for further references. I hope these concepts are extensively clear and somewhat you can understand the very dry subject of the law, which is known as the jurisprudence and legal theory. My friends, understand one very basic part, that these subjects are called dry subjects because they are very conceptual ones. Now the dry subject that I am using the word is only in the actual real life that we are living in. But they are not dry, as you can see. It is very interesting when we are discussing these concepts. You must be thinking that when we can utilize this concept, or rather when this knowledge would be important, or rather it will be useful for us. So do not forget, my friends, that when you are there in the litigation or even when you are there in the out in the field, you must have to conceptualize your arguments. So when you are conceptualizing your arguments, it becomes very important to have the full note or full understanding of all these concepts. So if you are very clear with these concepts, you will be able to perform in the best possible way. So for that, do keep reading and keep yourself updated and have an amazing reading sessions. Thank you so much. I hope you have enjoyed this session. Thank you again.